The Epstein files refer to a large collection of court documents, testimonies, and records connected to Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy American financier accused of running a long-term sex trafficking operation involving underage girls. These files have become globally significant because they expose how power, money, and influence can protect criminal behavior for decades. Jeffrey Epstein was not a public celebrity, but he moved quietly among the world's most powerful people. He had connections to politicians, business leaders, scientists, celebrities, and even members of royal families. To the outside world, he appeared to be a successful financier and philanthropist. Behind closed doors, however, prosecutors and victims say he was abusing young girls and exploiting them through manipulation and coercion. In 2019, Epstein was arrested by federal authorities and charged with sex trafficking and conspiracy to traffic minors. The arrest followed years of investigative journalism and survivor testimonies that revealed a disturbing pattern of abuse. Epstein pleaded not guilty to the charges and awaited trial in a New York jail. Before the trial could begin, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. His death was officially ruled a suicide, but the circumstances surrounding it, including security failures and missing camera footage, fueled widespread public suspicion and controversy. Many believed his death prevented a full legal reckoning. However, Epstein's death did not end the investigation. As lawsuits continued, judges ordered the release of sealed documents connected to Epstein's associates and accusers. These releases became known collectively as the Epstein files. The Epstein files include thousands of pages of material such as court testimonies, sworn depositions, emails, flight logs, witness statements, and legal filings. Many of these documents came from civil cases, especially lawsuits filed by Epstein's victims seeking justice and accountability. One of the most disturbing aspects revealed in the files is how Epstein recruited victims. According to testimonies, young girls, some as young as 14, were approached with promises of money, modeling opportunities, education, or career connections. Many were initially paid for massages, which later escalated into sexual abuse. Victims describe a pattern of grooming, manipulation, and intimidation. The files also shed light on how Epstein avoided serious punishment for years. In 2008, he received a highly controversial plea deal that allowed him to serve minimal jail time despite serious allegations. This deal protected not only Epstein, but also unnamed associates from federal prosecution. Critics argue this was a major failure of the justice system. Another key figure mentioned throughout the Epstein files is Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate. Multiple witnesses testified that Maxwell helped recruit victims and manage Epstein's operations. In 2021, Maxwell was convicted of sex trafficking and sentenced to prison, becoming the only person held criminally accountable in connection with Epstein's network. One of the most sensitive and widely discussed aspects of the Epstein files is the appearance of high-profile names. Politicians, celebrities, and business leaders are mentioned throughout the documents. It is extremely important to clarify this point. Being named in the Epstein files does not mean someone committed a crime. Names can appear for many reasons: being mentioned by a witness, appearing in contact lists, or being referenced during investigations. Legal guilt can only be determined in a court of law. Nevertheless, the presence of influential names raises serious questions about accountability and access to power. For survivors, the release of the Epstein files represents more than headlines. Many have said the documents validate their experiences after years of being ignored, disbelieved, or silenced. Their goal is not fame or revenge, but acknowledgement. The Epstein files also highlight a broader issue: how systems can fail vulnerable people when powerful interests are involved. Law enforcement delays, legal loopholes, and institutional protection allowed abuse to continue unchecked for years. Today, the Epstein case remains a symbol of injustice, secrecy, and the dangers of unchecked power. While many questions remain unanswered, the files have forced global conversations about transparency, accountability, and survivor rights. The Epstein files remind us that justice should not depend on wealth or status, and that silence only protects wrongdoing. The story is not just about Jeffrey Epstein. It is about the systems that enabled him and the responsibility to ensure they never do again.